Good morning, Cappuccino. It is Tuesday, March 24th, in our second week of home learning and teaching. So Mr. Alvarez today, Mr. Alvarez is inviting everybody to get online for a Zoom meeting. So you can talk live not really in person. You can talk to Mr. Alvarez in real time over the computer. So if you type in this URL, https://ZOOM//J//4//Z/4//J//4600222618, you can join a meeting where you get to talk to your classmates and to Mr. Alvarez. So could be a lot of fun. Okay, so that's today, starting at 11 o'clock. Okay, so from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Mr. Alvarez will be available online to talk to. So if you're confused by those directions, you can still call or text him at this number, 650-503-4178. Okay, so if you need help getting onto the meeting, you can call or text Mr. Alvarez. So he will be there at this Zoom meeting online on the computer. You'll actually be able to see him and talk to him on the computer. And if you need help figuring this out, you can give him a call at this telephone number. All right, back to today's lesson. So here is our warm-up. We want to simplify each of these problems. So we know how to do this. We need to reduce these. So go ahead and pause for a minute and see if you can do them yourselves. Okay? You try them first, and then I'll do them. All right, here we go. Number 1. In order to reduce this, I need to find the factors of 10 and 15. What are two numbers that multiply to give me 10? Well, that would be 5 times 2. Two numbers that multiply to give me 15, well, that's 5 times 3. If I have the same number in the numerator and the denominator, that just equals 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I'm left with 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3. My answer is 2/3. Okay, next one. Same idea. I've got these big numbers. What numbers can I multiply to give me those? Let's see. 28 would be 4 times 7, and 16 is 4 times 4. So I see I have a 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I'm left with 7/4. That's number 2. Okay, number 3. 1/2 times 8. Okay, this is the Alex and Morgan idea. So we have two ways of doing this. I can rewrite it as 1 times 8 divided by 2. 1 times 8 is 8. Then 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, or I could have done this. I could have moved the 2 underneath the 8 and had 1 times 8 divided by 2. So that's still my 1, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 1 times 4 is also 4. So two ways I could do that one. Okay, over here, I'm going to go ahead and do it the Alex way. 1 times 9 divided by 2. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 divided by 2. Oh. Okay, I could change that to a decimal or a mixed number, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. In algebra, we like fractions better than decimals. Okay, next problem. 4/5 times 12. Okay, again, I am going to do it, I think, Alex's way. So I'm going to have 4 times 12 over 5, and 4 times 12 is 48 over 5. Okay, that's an awful big number, but I don't think there's any way I can rewrite 48 with a 5 in order to cross out the 5. So that's it. That's all I can do on that one. Okay, I could try doing it the other way, 4 times 12 over 5. Can I reduce 12 over 5? No, because 12, let's see, I can keep my 4, and 12 is 2 times 6. Can I cross anything out? No, can't cross anything out. So that doesn't help me. So I end up again with 48 over 5. Okay, so nothing going on there. All right, and the last one, 4 over 5 times 20. So I could do 4 times 20 and then divide by 5, but those are awful big numbers. I think I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to do 4 times 20 over 5. I'm going to move the 5 underneath this one. 20 divided by 5, that's just 4. So 20 divided by 5 is just 4, and then 4 times 4 is 16. That's the answer to the last one. Okay, so in math space today, we are going to be doing more of the same. We're going to be doing multiplying fractions and whole numbers, but we're also going to be multiplying fractions with fractions. So we're going to do a couple of examples in our notes. So let's go over to our notes. Notes. We are going to multiply fractions today. Notes, multiply fractions. Okay, so we've already done 1/2 times a whole number, right? Oops, where's my warm-up? I didn't write them down. Okay, we've already multiplied a fraction times a whole number, but what if we multiply a fraction times a fraction? So what if we do, for example, what if we do 1/2 times 1/2? Okay, so remember, if we're doing multiplication, this is half a group of a half. Okay, we can rewrite the multiplication sign as of. So like, for example, let me just go over here for a second. So when I had 2 times 3, this is 2 groups of 3. Okay, so this word right, this symbol right here, multiplication, I can write that as the word of. So I can rewrite this as 1/2 of 1/2. I want 1/2 of 1/2. So what would that look like? Well, let's take a rectangle. Here's a rectangle. And first of all, I want half of it. So we're going to take half of the rectangle. So I'm going to cut my rectangle in half. There's 2 pieces. That's the 2. And now I'm going to shade in one of those 2 pieces. So here is 1/2. Now I want half of that half. So just looking at this, I'm going to cut that in half. If I cut that in half, see how I have 2 equal pieces, and now I'm going to fill in half of it. So this is half of a half. Half of a half. So how much is that? What is half of a half? Well, if I'm going to make this into a fraction, I have one piece that's shaded in. I'm looking at the red. I have one piece that's shaded in. But out of how many pieces? Right now it looks like 3 pieces, but these 3 pieces are not all the same size. All the pieces have to be the same size. Okay? Todas las partes necesitan estar lo mismo talle. Este talle es tan grande. Este es más pequeño. Este y este son iguales, pero este no está igual a este. So necesita cambiar este en dentro más partes. Okay? Since the parts are not the same size, I need to break them into all the same size. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. I have 4 parts. So what is 1/2 of 1/2? It's 1/4. So what's 1/2 times 1/2? It is 1/4. Okay, let's do another example. What if I wanted 2/3 of 1/2? Okay, 2/3 of 1/2. So let's start with our picture again. So I'm going to start with a rectangle. Start with a rectangle. And I'm going to start with this side, the 1/2. I want 1/2 of that. Okay, there's 1/2. And I'm going to shade it in. That's 1/2. This is 1/2. Okay, este está mitad. Okay, mitad un rectángulo. Esta parte es un mitad de este rectángulo. Okay, now I want 2/3 of this piece. So I have to break this piece into 3 parts. So I'm going to break it into 3 parts. 3 equal parts. 1, 2, 3 equal parts. The 2 says I'm going to shade in 2 parts. Okay, yo tengo 2 partes de 3 partes. 1, 2 partes en 3 partes. 2 sobre 3 necesita 3 partes iguales y escribe en 2 de estas partes. Lo siento, mi español está muy limitado. Okay, so what have I got? I have 2 parts that are shaded. 1, 2. But how many parts do I have? They all need to be the same size. See how small this is? I need to break these all into the same size. So, ¿cuántas partes hay? ¿Son iguales? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts that are the same size. 2 over 6. 2 are shaded red, and there's 6 equal parts altogether. Now, you might say, hey, wait a minute, we can simplify that. So if I have 2 6, let's go ahead and simplify that. 2 is 2 times 1, and 6 is 2 times 3. So I can make a 1 right here, just like our warm-up. So my answer is 1 over 3. Okay, can I see 1 out of 3 on this picture? The answer is yes. If I take my rectangle and break it into 3 equal parts, 3 equal parts, kind of hard to see. Do I have a better pen? Let's do it with this. 3 equal parts. So here's the whole rectangle. If I make 3 equal parts, 1, 2, 3 equal parts, and see what's shaded? 1 out of the 3 parts is shaded. So 1/3 is the same as 2 6. Okay, so you're going to be practicing this in math space. In math space, if you ask for some hints in math space, this is how they're going to show these problems. So if they have 2/3 times 1/2, the way that they're going to show it is they're going to do this. They're going to show 2 times 1, 2 times 1, and on the bottom they're going to say 3 times 2, 3 times 2. If we do that, do we get the same answer as drawing the picture? Do we get the same answer? 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Aha! We get the same answer. So the fast way to multiply fractions rather than drawing a picture is to multiply straight across. Okay, so in math space, they're going to show it like this, that you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. So that's how you're going to see it in math space. We still have to reduce this, though. We have to simplify this. 2 times 1, and 6 is 2 times 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the answer is 1 over 3. Okay, so in math space, they're going to show it like this. Okay. One other thing in math space, if they show a whole number, say 5 times 2/3. In math space, they're going to rewrite the 5 as 5 over 1. Because what's 5 divided by 1? 5 entre una. ¿Qué está 5 entre una? 5 divided by 1 is 5. And then times 2 over 3. Okay, so what does that give us? We're going to multiply our numerators, multiply our denominators. So 5 times 2 over 1 times 3. Are there any 1s that I can cross out? No, no 1s to cross out. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 3 is 3. That would be our answer. Okay, so this is what we're going to be practicing in Math Space today. A little bit of fun with some fractions, multiplying fractions. All right, so don't forget to go and log on to Mr. Alvarez's office hours. If you want to just say hi, see who's there, see who's hanging out, see what they're up to. Okay, so have fun at the Zoom meeting. Here, can we zoom in on that? That's where you need to go, on your computer. If you type this in, you can go hang out with your classmates and Mr. Alvarez and say hello. All right, see you later. Don't forget to do your Math Space.